Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, and today we're going over the live stream they did. If you didn't catch it, you should try to. They're really fun. The chat's there, Twitch and everything. I'll leave the link in the description below. And this is going right after this, so I might miss some Epic 7 patch notes or something after. I'll try to link those in the description as well, so everybody gets them. And we've got some doozies of a things. That sentence doesn't make sense. We've got some good things to show you. First off, new Hunt Katie's. This is going to be the light elemental boss with 3 new equipment sets: Revenge, Injury, and Penetration. Also, it will be available right away, but spoiler alert, there will not be Hunt 12 and 13 available, so we will not be able to do 12 and 13. They went into it at the end of the stream saying they found the hunt to be way too hard in internal testing, and the success rate just wasn't there. People weren't happy with it. They didn't want to release it like that, so we're just getting stage 11 instead of 12 and 13. We can go over the skills, the gimmicks as they call them, but honestly, there is so much text. I'm not this type of person. I can't learn from reading all these abilities. I'll put them up on the screen for you. But the long story short of it is it stops you from doing literally anything you want to do, and you get targeted the less you use a non-attack skill. So if you're using a non-attack skill, your enmity goes to the bottom, and if you are just using regular attack skills over and over again, you're going to be at the top of the list for enmity, and you'll be hit every time. That's the long and the short of it. Partly why they've been having problems in testing, I'm assuming. As you can see, it does literally everything: dispels all buffs, recovers health, no cooldown, injury dealt. What else do we have here? Dual attack, combat readiness increase, decrease in max HP, penetrates target's defense. What else here? What else does it do? 50% damage from skills that increase proportionate to max HP, so no Daydream Joker. Dispels all debuffs. If you have 3 or more debuffs or something, it does everything. It literally does everything. So I am never, like, as much as I read this, I'm not going to understand it in practice until I actually try it out. So that's what I'm going by. So next up, we have the 3 sets. So Revenge set is a 4-piece set, I believe, and it is speed increased by 10%, and for every 1% of health lost, speed increases by an additional 0.5%. I'm not a big fan of this set. I think this is a really, really underwhelming set, and I can't think of anybody that would just rather have this than a speed set. A lot of people in chat when this was shown said stuff like BBK or K-Run, but you don't really want those characters to go faster, right? Like, you don't want them to go faster when they're at low HP for a lot of the times, especially somebody like K-Run. And I feel like somebody like K-Run would rather have a different set. So I'm not sold by this set whatsoever. I think it would obviously be great if it was a 2 set, but I also think it would be ridiculously overpowered as a 2 set. So I'm glad they didn't go that route. This is definitely one we're going to need to test a little bit more, though. And then we have Injury set. After attacking, decreases the target's max health by 5%, or up to 5%. Effective only against heroes, so this won't be used in PvE and can stack up to 50%. This is pretty much an RTA only. Maybe not RTA only. This is a mix of RTA and Guild War offense, I think. I think for Guild War offense, you're going to be able to do teams like Crow, Momo, and Dien or something. Like 3 support healers with 1 person with an injury set if you really want to guarantee that win, and just eventually take people down that way, but mainly for RTA. I think this is going to be a decent set, but again, you're throwing away so many stats by not using a speed set. We then have, I think, the star of the show. I think that's a 4 set too. Maybe it's 2 set, but I think it's 4 set. We then have the star of the show, Penetration. When attacking with a single attack, penetrates the target's defense by 10%. I think this is awesome. This is a 2-piece set for sure, especially since it says it doesn't stack. What are the colors, by the way? I thought Injury was a 4-piece set, but let me ask Mashu, is Injury 4-piece or 2-piece? I thought it was a 4-piece set, but it's the same color as Penetration, which made me think it's two-piece. Anyway, I think Penetration is going to definitely be a fantastic set, just because sometimes you have that crit rate on gear, and if you already have that crit rate, you can use the Penetration instead. And Masher just confirmed already that it is a 4-piece set, so I was correct, and the colors were just screwing me up. So I think if you're going to be farming this dungeon, we're going to be using Penetration as the main goal there. Could be wrong, but it is what I think. Also, they mention a little bit of a spoiler for the future in the first half of next year, I think they said. They're going to be, I don't have a slide for this since it was all vocal. They're looking into a way to change gear and change how we upgrade gear and how gear is obtained from this dungeon. So this dungeon eventually is going to be a different way of obtaining gear, I think, is what they were trying to say. And they kind of implied that it'll be easier to get substats and main stats you are interested in, which is really, really, really cool. And then we have Bologna and Iron Fan as a drop rate up. This is starting on the 26th, which is tomorrow. You could summon for SSB imprints maybe, but I wouldn't do that. Iron Fan also not the greatest. Not the greatest, that's all I can say. But it's so specialized of an artifact. I think one day we're gonna love Iron Fan. It's just not today. Alongside that, we have Charlotte and Noble Oath. As they said on stream, I think Charlotte is a very underrated character. I think she's fantastic, but I also think she needs a lot of Mulligora, and we just don't have the means to do that. I'm not trying to complain, it's just a reality. Then we have the Coin Shop Hero Rotation, which I still can't see. Isaria, Judge Kisei, and Yufine. They look also cool together. I really like this picture. Yeah, there's that for you if you want to get those. And the best change ever. The best change ever is Magical Scholar Doris's right arm is finally fixed. Wow, what we're all waiting for. The function to skip story and animations will now be improved. You can now skip. You can also autoplay as well. That's pretty cool as well. Battle Frenzy improvements. This is a big one for anybody who plays RTA. There was a lot this stream, by the way. I'm trying to go through the less important ones quickly. Battle Frenzy improvements. So they're changing increased damage dealt percent with Battle Frenzy to increase attack percent. And what this means is people that scale off of HP or just don't really scale at all, so somebody like a Ravi, are going to get way less of a boost now as somebody who scales on attack percent like Emma Lulika or Rylet. So DPS units that are traditional in the sense will get a bigger boost from Battle Frenzy than the Bruisers will. They also changed when what stage decrease max health and decrease healing did. They also made it so increase effectiveness starting from stage 1. And they also made it so we can better view things. Pretty good change, I think. It should help the Bruiser meta. I think the first line is actually the biggest thing to help the Bruiser meta, because the Bruisers are going to be doing way less damage and have way less kill potential. Okay, equipment conversion lock feature added, waiting room sort feature added. I actually really wanted the waiting room sort feature. Cell improvement, logout feature added to the title screen, good quality of life. So they're adding them a lot now, which is great. They also have episode shortcuts. This is something I've complained about personally and sent them a video of how frustrating it was not to go back to the last stage I was at. So this is really cool for me. Next up is Hoochie, and I hate Hoochie with a passion, but this time Hoochie is less of a scam. For some reason, the top one is only 20% off still, but the rest are 50% off. We have Molagoras for 250, which are definitely purchasable. We have the Mystic Metals for 100, which are 100% purchasable. We then have the level 85 equipment and the other things. I'm not sure if I'll buy those. Those kind of make me mad buying them, but I'll probably gamble on them just for fun. We then have Operator Sigret, and this is what you've all been waiting for. I'm not going to go through the video, but... Whew. I should go through the video, but I'm not going to do it because y'all want to watch it yourself, and I want to watch it again on repeat later. So I was kind of right with my video the other day. I said she's going to have a lot of emotion now for some reason, and that's true with her story. If you watch the video, you'll see. I also said she's going to be defensive somehow, and I'm also right with that. So I feel really proud of my guesswork just from the silhouettes of her clenching her fist and the little shield things around. So base stats, 115 speed, average of the other two stats, pretty decent attack, but the important part here to note is she has the 27% crit chance base, so it's going to be easier to get to 100% crit, which also means maybe more likely to use a penetration set, which she actually doesn't really need now that I think about, which we'll see in a second. She also has 160 base crit damage as well, so she gets a bonus to that. She also has a pretty decent self-imprint, although it is not it's not a critical hit. Also, she's a Dark Ranger. If you can't see, I'm sorry for my way of showing this to you now. Her first skill here is Incision. And this is attacks the enemy with a scythe before healing the ally with the lowest health, recovered proportionate to the caster's attack. So she heals somebody as a DPS style unit, which is really, I have the hiccups. Why do I get the hiccups? Really cool. I like also that this doesn't take Mulagora if you don't want to use it for this and you really just want to focus on skill 2 and skill 3. Really like that as well. Skill 2 is Annihilation, batters the enemy with a scythe, grants an extra turn when the enemy is defeated, penetrates the target's defense by 50% guaranteed, or when the target is granted a barrier, 100%. So basically versus an FCC team, she's going to have 100% penetration, and it's going to kill somebody, pretty much guaranteed, and she's going to get an extra turn. That's one thing I'm noticing with a lot of the units lately, is units are so good now, they have to tack on just grants an extra turn. Like, it feels like every character now just grants himself an extra turn, which is kind of scary, you know? Because, like, not only does extra turn give you an extra turn, it also acquires more souls, and it's a very deep hole they're digging themselves into, and I'm wondering how we're going to handle that, you know? Really good ability though, and I'm assuming the multipliers for this are going to be massive, so this is going to, or should kill anybody. Like, if you have a barrier on, you're probably dead, and if you don't have a barrier on, you're probably dead still. And then her skill 3, and I was kind of iffy on this skill 3 at first, which calls in a drone to attack all enemies, 75% chance up to 100% chance to decrease buff durations by 1 turn, before decreasing combat readiness by 20%, and also increases the attack of all allies for 2 turns. But I like this thematically now. I think the soul burn is kind of atrocious. I think it's not very good because, you know, like, if you're using Sigret, you're gonna pop somebody turn 1 and then attack buff your team. You're probably not gonna need the burn, and you're probably not gonna use the burn here. I do not like the burn whatsoever. I think if anything, this was the hero to give the burn to the skill 1 to make it so it heals everybody instead of just one person. Like, this was your chance, Smilegate, to actually make a skill 1 burn not terrible. But anyways, because of the way her skill 2 works, you can you can annihilate somebody, remove them from the equation entirely, go again, decrease buff durations of everybody else. Maybe that's the thing, right? Because she's gonna need effectiveness to land it, but probably will against the DPS. She also won't have any elemental disadvantage as well, and also decreases their CR, and also increases the attack of your allies after. So you can do a couple things with her. Like, for example, you can Oxlots her up, just annihilate somebody out of existence, and then do this, which will hopefully push your other DPS right after her, which does give themselves attack buff, and then they could blow somebody else up too. So that's pretty cool. You can also run her really fast, because I think even a fast version of Operator Sigret will be able to kill somebody with a barrier. So I really like this skill set. I think it's great. I'm obviously summoning for her. New side story, Mystical Moonlight Theater. I don't know, but I love Sage Balin Sazan and not just Sage Balin Sazan, but Balin Sazan in general. I think he was hilarious in the story after I met him. I hated him until the story. And I'm really excited to see this story now. I'm really excited. You also get a helmet with erased code number, Mulagora, and some other things. Also, After this week, so 2 weeks time, 1 week time, we get the Bazaar and Abyssal Crown drop rate, and we also get the Lidica and Sword of Judgment drop rate. So that is going to be all the things. The highlight of everything is obviously going to be the Sigret, but I think we've got some pretty cool things going. Also, in December, we are getting the Tenebria skin that won the Pixiv art contest, the Alice in Wonderland one as well. That will be entered into the game in December. I don't know how we obtain it, but it's definitely going to be available then, they mentioned. So that's awesome. Anyways, we're going to stop here. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Sigret probably tomorrow after I think a little bit more. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.